What's up everyone, Wolfman here, and welcome to MOC Monday Reviews, the video series where I do reviews on any LEGO MOCs or my own creations, and I do a review on them. And today I am doing my very first asymmetrical starfighter, which I dubbed or titled the Ronin class starfighter. Now before I get into the review, just a quick reminder on the upcoming review on my Grand Fleet, which will consist of starfighters and starships from different factions of Star Wars, and I'm even throwing starfighters from these MOC Monday reviews. And this is the second to last. The next one is going to be on an actual Star Wars ship, just redone a little bit because the existing model is, in my opinion, just plain weak. So with that out of the way, and without any further ado, onto the review. So here it is. This is my Ronin class multi-purpose starfighter. I built this, I don't exactly recall when I first built this sucker, but I did this design with the intention of making it asymmetrical. And I gotta say, I have succeeded in doing that, and it came out so great, although it does have a few flaws, and I will point those out. But I will get into some of the other further details first. This sucker really wasn't meant to look pretty. I mean, I think you can easily tell some of the mix-matched color pieces, like these two here. One's brown, the other one's dark gray. And of course you got the sand. Of course you got these sand tone colors, which are kind of make it a little more even. I believe the underside is also the same. Yeah, basically, yeah, it's roughly the same. And of course you may notice there are some guns here on the bottom. There's also ones on the top. So you were to do a silhouette or look at it straight forward, this is what it would look like. And I wanted to do this kind of design in particular for just to make it look a little more unique. And of course, if you look at the top view, I'm sorry if this doesn't really do any real justice, but it kind of, I mean, the shape or design, it kind of looks a little something familiar. I'm not going to really say what, but you kind of get an idea what it was based off from. And of course, I'm going to jump into doing this side first. This is where the main cockpit is, and the cockpit piece for this was actually from General Grievous' Starfighter. And it's a little tricky to open up, but there is room for one pilot in here, just one pilot. And I actually did use some of the pieces from Grievous' Starfighter, like the control panels on both sides. Of course, the targeting computer, which is also another thing that I put into it. And I did put in a couple of the flick or stud shooter missiles or suckers here up on top, above the cockpit. This sucker was designed to have some front lights just below. As you can see, I do not have any there at this time. Of course, I've had time to do that, but I'm just that lazy. But of course, we got the rear, which is where the engine thrusters would be. This was a design I wanted to do, although it really wasn't what I had hoped, but it still works nonetheless. You got the two side thrusters here on both sides, but you also got this one up on the top. And I did use some select colored pieces to make it get the engine that look. And there really isn't that much to say. I mean, there are some other detailed bits, like the clips on either side here just after the cockpit. Don't know if you can see it. This is one right here. I don't know, and there's one on the other side as well, as you can see. I mean, it's much easier to see under the light. But I don't exactly have any real features for that, or for those pieces in particular, so I just leave it as is. But if you recall me saying that this is a multi-purpose starfighter, well, part of the multi-purpose comes with the attachments you can place on this. And this is one reason why I picked this design. The sucker has attachments. And this one is basically for armaments. It does come with missiles. I don't know how many exactly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 in total. We got some of these smaller ones here, which can be detached, but you also got these bigger ones up on top and on the bottom. This was a design I wanted to put into this type of starfighter, but it does have one other function. It doubles as a cargo hauler. Oops, I forgot. I left that piece in there. Of course, I did utilize several of the existing crates and stuff and boxes from Lego in general. We got some of these bigger ones here. There's 8 total for on either side, but there's also 6 of these smaller ones, which I purposely done for this exact purpose. And of course, it can connect. So say that this sucker was sent for a relief mission, it could basically deploy, and this sucker would basically descend or even unload once landed. But if it needed to in a pinch, it could actually metaphorically be detached and be released and let go be controlled by an AI computer to basically deliver the payload of supplies or whatnot. And it could be just about anything, really. And of course, I got this other module here. It's just so it doesn't look like it's just that. So I did this so anything that I would put in, it would not be completely flush against. I did not want that, so I did add in this little module or this other connector piece for it, but I guess just for giggles and grins, this is how it would look without the module or any of the modules. And this sucker was supposed to have another feature. I wanted to give it a recon function, so this sucker could be both a battle starfighter, it could be a cargo transport, it can also be a recon ship. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to move on to some of the flaws on this, and to my dismay, it's a little loose here on the cockpit, and it's kind of been threatening roughly the whole video since I've been handling this. It's been threatening to kind of come undone. So it's a little bit on the heavy side, but you can handle it like this, and it's sturdy enough. But handle it like this, and over time it could basically threaten to come undone altogether. So this is the first model. I really wouldn't change anything, but if I were to find a way to make this connect more solidly with the rest of the module, I would do it. And of course, one other feature I at first was tempted to do was put a slot for an astromech, but some of the other starfighters that I have made, my other MOCs, they've had that kind of function, but this one I didn't exactly want to. But had I did, I would have put a slot right back here for an astromech, or even connecting some other section over here, but I probably would have done it right here in the middle, just because it looks like it's got the room for it. But alas, some of my other old existing starfighter models that I have built in the past, including some ones I have done, like my A2, my Arrowheads, and even some of my older cross-card variants that I've done. If you haven't seen the reviews on those, I highly recommend you go check those out. But some of those other past starfighters I have built, or other MOCs, I gave them that function to actually have an astromech. So it's a bit to me, it's a little overrated to have that kind of function in starfighters. It seems a bit cliche. It seems a bit of a cliche, even for good guy forces like the Rebel Alliance or even the Republic. But alas, I just did not really want to do that in this particular starfighter. And I do wish I could say I know how many pieces this is, but any kind of MOC that I build, I do not know exactly how many pieces I use, because I do not want to take it apart and do the count and then reassemble it. And every single every kind of fighter I build, I treat it like a prototype. So even though this is the first one, I kind of treat it as a final, but at the same time, I would want to do more improvements on it. So this isn't exactly standard. So I would try to treat it as such as like any other prototype models that I built. But I do hope maybe in the near future I would do more functions on this. Like maybe I might make the module for recon equipment and such, and maybe even eventually try and put a slot for an astromech in this. So, but I like it just the way it is. So that was my review on my Ronin class starfighter, and if you liked that video, please feel free to leave a like down below, and please leave me a comment to anyone who comes across this channel. I would like to hear some feedback and any other ideas on these kinds of videos. And like I said before, this is actually the second to last of the starfighters I've got, or starships in particular, there is one more I am going to be doing that's going to be done on Halloween. That's going to be uploaded on Halloween. And the name of it is actually rather fitting, and after that I'll be jumping on to doing other starships that are going to be in the Grand Fleet review, which is going to be on the last Saturday of November, this month being October, obviously. But if you want to see more of these kinds of videos, then come join the Wolfpack by hitting the red subscribe button down below for more content that I will be doing. And eventually it is going to slow down. I am going to warn anyone who has been watching the channel for quite some time that the videos are going to slow down eventually, but I'm going to be jumping into other genres and not just Lego Star Wars or Legos in general. But yeah, definitely something to tune in and tell your friends about this channel. If they want to get ideas, especially for these MOC Monday reviews, then please tell your friends. I mean, I'm not desperate or anything in this channel. It's just I'm doing this channel just for fun. But a little help will go a long ways. So I believe that is going to be it, and all that stuff for me to remind you that Jesus loves you more than Elmo and Barney, and I'll see you guys next time.